Hello and welcome to Raider HQ After Dark. I'm your host, Raider. And um, by the thumbnail, it is true that the VA has started updating the M21-1 manual. So it's not a sizzle video, so there's not going to be much in the way of like crazy changes that they put out because at the time of this video, they've only put out 3 specific changes. And let me go ahead and share my screen. So let me make this a little bit bigger for everyone. So this is what you as the veteran have forward facing, kind of the civilian or veteran access to the M21. What we're talking about here is we're talking about changes by date. So I'm going to go to 2025, and what appears to have happened is they are not going to release anything with the date of October on it. They're essentially going to push everything that they were going to release in October to November and beyond. So we do have some new kind of changes to the M21 manual that came out as of yesterday, late in the afternoon. I didn't see this because I checked it a few times, but we have one change to the rating decision, which is not a big deal. I've went through this front to back, and it's just updating guidance in terms of changing words around. So it's not a big ticket item. It's basically talking about instructing the VSRs on when and how to, like, updating the language that is used to tell the VSRs when they need to go and give you 5103 notice. That's the duty to assist uh, part of the VA that says we have to tell you that you have the right to submit evidence on your own behalf. Now, part of the things that they changed was telling the VSRs, okay, the duty to assist is something that has to be satisfied, that the veteran has to be given that particular information, and once they are, you don't need to keep delaying the claim in order to, you know, make sure, double triple check that the veteran has been given their 5103 information, that they can submit new evidence. And it kind of helps. The changes just change a few words around and provide manual reference embedded within this particular manual reference to give the VSR all the information to know when the 5103 notice has already been satisfied. One example of that would be if um, you were doing a supplemental claim, and let's say the POA signed the supplemental claim. Well, that automatically triggers that you need to have a 5103 notice sent to you if it's not already satisfied. So some of the things that are changed in here is just giving them the manual reference to go, okay, well, if the veterans had a rating decision within a year from the claim being submitted, rating decisions themselves come with a 5103 notice and notification to help them to be able to do a supplemental claim. So if you have received that rating decision within a year, then the 5103 notification to you has already been satisfied. So essentially, that's what this one goes over. The other two are talking about PMC, the Pension Management Center. Basically, these are all pension stuff. I'm not a big guy on pension, but we're mostly just talking about updates to the COLA. You guys can go here. I'll put a link to this in the chat if you're interested in this. I'm not a big person on pensions, so I don't know that much about it. I've never worked with it, type thing. So I tend not to. I tend to try to not discuss things I don't have a functional understanding of. And then on this one, they updated to correct the penalty period for I don't know. There's penalty periods, I guess, with asset transfers. A little above my head. I'm just a guy that writes the climb. So now some of you might be asking, why do we care about this? Well, we care about this because the VA, I'm a little concerned. I'm concerned based upon the Washington Post things, their hit piece articles on veterans, and I'm also concerned about that recent 10/29/2025 Senate hearing about modernizing and updating the VA. Well, a lot, and what I'm concerned about is Doug Collins, because Doug Collins can go, well, you know what? We don't even need to go through Congress, because we can just make those modifications right now. We can make those changes within our internal process. And this would be where we start to see if they start to sneak things in. Now, some of you might go, well, wait a minute, that's kind of fear mongering. I don't think Doug Collins would do that, except he already has. Now, I did a video about this a while back about the changes that they made on 6/30/2025 to the SMC criteria for S1 and aid in attendance. So, what happened back then, and if you want, you can go watch the video because it'll break down everything in those changes. What the VA secretary did is he changed the M21 manual in how the VSR, RVSR, and authorizer process claims, and they restricted the ability for individuals with multi-symptom diseases like diabetes, Parkinson's disease that can spread to other body systems, right? And typically, historically, what happened is those kinds of diseases, you would take and you would combine all the different secondaries together to make 100% in order to qualify for special monthly compensation S1, or to qualify for aid and attendance. You could say, look, my diabetes spread out throughout my entire body. So that's 100% right there, meeting the 100% historical criteria. Well, what they did was they said, well, wait a minute. Now, I know that a lot of Vietnam veterans this applies to, and that Vietnam veterans, typically, these diseases are associated with presumptive conditions for Agent Orange exposure. So, what we're going to do is we're going to foxtrot over the Vietnam veteran era. You don't have to just be Vietnam, it could be Guam, it could be whatever. But we're going to foxtrot over all of these Vietnam era veterans and make it to where it's harder for them to get SMC S1, special monthly compensation, housebound status, and aid in attendance, because you can no longer take these clearly linked together disease processes that the VA, some of the DBQs have these secondaries built into them. So it's acknowledged by the VA in many, many different areas and established by a lot of precedents that these are a disease process and they count as one thing. So what they did is they said, look, all you Vietnam era veterans, kick rocks. You don't get to have SMCS1 anymore. You've got to find a natural 100%, like asthma for 100%, sleep apnea for 100%. We can't do this diabetes and everything that's associated with it, which the point of my rambling is that they took that away, and that was so significant, and it flew under everyone's radar. I don't hear the VFW freaking out about that, about how disenfranchised the Vietnam era community is based upon that one little choice right there, how negatively it influences it. Now, will they take away established SMC? No, they won't, but future veterans from that era. So think about all the veterans that the PACT Act opened up new regions, right? Guam, Laos, like different area, Cambodia type thing, like whatever it is. But think about all the areas, and I'm just going off the top of my head. So if I said something wrong, Jim will correct me, and I appreciate him. So, but think about it this way, that the PACT Act opened up all these new areas, and the VA pivots and then takes away the ability to get SMCS1, even though there's going to be even more veterans who would qualify for this SMCS1 housebound or this aid and attendance based upon that historical rule that they did away with. So my concern, circling back to the point of my rambling, is that I'm going to be watching this like a hawk, and I'm going to be noticing and identifying anything. Now, that's my role in this. What is your guys' role in this? If I find something, which I still think you should go back to the SMC, hold on just a second, I'm going to do some powerful editing here. And we're back. I think that you guys should go and you should be talking to our advocates. I'm doing air quotes right now, like the VFW, the DAV, and talk about this and talk about how they updated the to clarify the requirements for the level of disability necessary to establish entitlement to SMC based upon aid in attendance and housebound status. If you go in here and you review it, or if you go to my video, just send them my video. There are Vietnam era veterans who got the shaft again. And let me tell you, that is one genre of veteran that should not be getting the shaft anymore. They got the biggest shaft known to man. They shouldn't be getting it again, but there's no pushback on this. So my challenge to you guys is, if I identify something, I need you guys to run with it. Tell other YouTubers. I don't care if other YouTubers use my content. I don't care. What I care about is the message. I care about is the advocacy. I care about it to where people aren't like, who took it away? Think about it this way. The changes to the M21 are not done by doctors. They're not done by clinical evidence. They're not done by research studies. They're not done by panels that weigh things. They're done by as arbitrary things that are internal. They don't provide a rationale as to why they did them. They just, somebody made a choice. First sergeant rules. First sergeant just chose, nope, we're all wearing bikinis. It's just whatever. Like, they get to choose this stuff, and it's not based upon anything. It works outside of the normal lanes. Congress doesn't approve these things. The VA is just doing stuff. And I don't like it when the VA does stuff that makes massive, like a massive swath of the veteran community take away their benefits, because there are veterans that have that, and then future veterans won't have that. Well, okay, you could take that away after the last veteran that qualified for that particular benefit humanly cannot have existed anymore. Like, it's past their lifespan. Then you can take that away. But I think what's good for the gander is good for the goose, right? You should, if this guy over here got it service connected, I should be able to get it service connected too, because my situation is just as true as their situation. So I need you guys to be the advocates. I will be your canary in the coal mine for this stuff, but I need for you guys to be the advocates. And just look at this. Like, look at how many changes they do in just September, right? Like, September has a lot of changes. Now, some of these are frill and fluff, like these first 3 are here in November, but I'm going to be watching it like a hawk. And I will be reporting on it, and you will hear the inflection of my voice if I'm going to be talking about it like it's crazy nonsense. These ones aren't currently, but if they do get to crazy nonsense, I will, chirp my little canary brains out, and just make you guys make it known to everybody. But anyway, that's about all I got for you today. If you watched to the end, thank you so much. And if you watched to the end and you aren't liked and subscribed, and you like the sound of my voice and maybe some of the things I say, then, it's free. You don't pay anything to subscribe and like the channels, and also hit the notification bells. And I'd also like to thank all the members who are supporting the channel. You guys are awesome. The VSR and the Raider thing, it's not something you guys have to do. It's never required, always welcomed, and always appreciated. So that's about all I got for you today. Me and the dogs, thank you. And I will be putting out another video today based upon the live stream, November 1st live stream answers. And then I'm going to be doing additional videos on more how it's rated. I'm going to be doing some more of those. But that's all I got for you. Raider out.